quick disclaimer before the video starts. This video is not against money and the idea of making a lot of money, okay? This is just to provide you with a fresh perspective on the hustle mindset that's been going on for quite some time now. I get it, everyone's telling you to hustle harder, make money, blah blah blah. It's like the only way to be successful is to be a millionaire, but not everybody wants that, and that's totally cool. We can respect that, okay? Okay, so we're fed this idea that only thing that matters is money. If you're not rich, you're a failure. Okay. But here's the thing. Many of people are just don't really want to chase money, right? They're doing meaningful stuff. They are making a difference. And they can't really care less about being the next Jeff Bezos or the next Andrew Tate, right? People can have a lot of driving factors. We as humans have a purpose, obviously. And what drives us to our purpose, they can be different things, okay? So maybe someone likes their free time, they want to spend their time with their families, and that's totally fine. Okay, that's their driving factor. We can respect that. Okay, let's act like adults. It's not just your own perspective. You need to understand and accept other people's perspective as well. Okay, without being too criticizing. Maybe they just don't want the stress of running a giant company, or maybe they're passionate about something else. Like maybe they like to do arts, maybe they're a musician, right? And it doesn't necessarily the idea of getting as much fat stacks of Benjamins in your account doesn't really inspire them or drive them. Okay. The idea of this video basically came when I was having conversation with a friend who was actually a thumbnail artist. He's been working with top 1% YouTubers. I'm sure one of your favorite YouTubers have already worked with him. So let's just dive into a quick conversation that I had with him, specifically for this video, where he'll be providing his perspective on why he thinks that money doesn't matter to him. Obviously, I cannot relate to his perspective, okay, because I personally think making as much money as possible for me is one of the key goals to reach my own purpose. But yeah, we should always be open to new ideas and fresh perspectives. Let's just listen to the call that we had. So we've been talking, and we've discussed our goals basically, and I've noticed that I've noticed you saying that your goal is not to make as much money as humanly possible, right? Which obviously I can respect. Like not everybody has to have the same goal. Could you like shed some light on why do you think it's not important to make as much money as possible for you personally, and why like basically why do you have this sort of goal, and what other goal do you have in mind? Like basically we all have need to have a primary goal, right? Can we agree on that?
We do agree on that.
Mm-hmm. So what is
We
your
do,
primary goal?
we do agree on that. The thing is, the reason that I say that not everyone is made to be making money, or not everyone has to make inhuman amount of money is in order to feel successful or in order to be somewhere in their lives, is because life is like there has to be a balance in between two high-end spectrum. So if there is one spectrum of the world where it says that you have to make a lot of money in order to be successful, there's also the spectrum where you don't have to do any of that and rather focus on much simpler things, like maybe spreading it can be just like as small as being someone that is spreading kindness, a smile. And to me, the most important thing to do in life, for me, the primary goal of life is to set a legacy. And whenever I share this goal with anyone, they're like, doesn't it really correlate to making money? Because if you do make money, then only will you be able to set up a legacy. But the problem with them is that in their head, everything is associated with money. Nothing in this world is separated from it. But when in reality, a legacy can be set by just being a good human being. How many times have you went down the history lane and looked at people with legacies that have had a huge amount of money on them? I don't recall Abraham Lincoln being some kind of a um, rich as, some big shot, big money guy. What I know about him is that he was the one that basically brought freedom to the, oppressed, to the people that were facing like all that racism, the, dark skinned people of the America. um and he did not have any money to do so. He did not have any of that, capitalist kind of a mentality to his cementing of the legacy. What he basically did was he did what was good for the world, and just being there, um, creating good. And if anyone says that, hey, you don't have any like purpose if you're not making money, I do not really entirely understand that perspective, because if everyone is going to make that big amount of money, then who is going to be doing the other things? Like, for an instance, this whole world turns into a capitalist, utopia, and everyone is becoming a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire. How is it supposed to be that there is going to be someone that is going to be feeding those trillionaires? Because we all know that every rich person out there is thriving off of someone else that is not rich. Basically, it's a parasite kind of a behavior. So that's my whole point, where it becomes such a contradiction that if you promote everyone to be quote unquote successful in your world of things, which is being very rich or making tons of money, how are you going to be making money yourself if everyone is going to be on the same route? Who are you going to be selling this idea to if everyone already has this idea?
You're basically saying that it's kind of a paradox. Like if everyone's rich, then the money holds no value, basically, right?
Exactly. A never ending paradox, and a paradox is something that is not never going to end. Um, So I don't really know what the whole fascination is about making insane amount of money. I do understand the bit where you are trying to achieve financial freedom, where you're trying to understand, the basic necessity of money, but anything above the point where you have enough money to have a roof over your head, have, good food on the table for you and your family, and you have your basics covered, I don't think you have to go any further. Yeah, you can go ahead and um, you know, earn some extras, but to me, earning that extras is basically getting that and then putting it back into the world for something good, to some needy people, to some charity, or to some. I, I'm personally not a big fan of charity either. I do not, believe in the whole charity thing. But giving it back to the world.
So it doesn't fascinate you anymore. Higher amounts of
It
money.
doesn't fascinate anymore. At a certain age, it did. At a certain time, it did. When I basically had nothing. So maybe it's more of so that when you progress in life and when you are going through life and looking at different things, you change your perspectives, you change your opinions on different things. And that is basically what happened to me, I guess. Um, in the beginning, I thought that, hey, my whole and sole goal in my life is to make as much money as I can. I want to be making so much money that I can literally burn it off and not care. But I realized I do that without even earning a lot of money.
And did that
So,
come from a place of hate? For a hate for maybe the system, or hate for rich people, or hate for money? Like you wanted to burn it off, right? So you wanted to prove a point, right? Like it doesn't matter to me.
exactly,
I want to reach a point
it
where it
doesn't
doesn't
matter
matter to
to
me
me.
anymore. Hmm.
Exactly. It's like more, you will find this mentality with people that grew up with not so much money on their hand, or grew up in situations where people were like, hey, you don't have money, you are inferior to the people that are having money. And that thought always really, bugged me. So maybe that was the whole point, proving them wrong, that, hey, I have enough money to literally burn it down and not care about it. So ever since the beginning, although in the beginning there was this slight motive of making money, the end goal always was not to really care about the money, rather the whole point of telling everyone that money does not mean much to me. And I guess it ends up like that for everyone, because the more I see people that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, hell, even in their 60s right now, struggling to get more and more and more and more in their bank balances, in their assets, in their investments, and whatever you know um form of wealth they have, there will come a point eventually where they will be like, what's next? That's it. So the problem with money is, no matter how much you earn, you won't ever be like, all right, I have reached the peak of my success, right? You won't ever be um really, I guess, I
Content,
do not have the
content,
word for it, or the
like being
it's
content
not
with it.
about being no, you will be content when you will be earning and spending and enjoying life with money, right? But you won't ever have enough of it. Like, I've heard a lot of people go, yeah, if you have $20 million, that's enough. You are rich, you can do anything.
It's
But it's
perspective.
not like that.
That's just
It's
perspective.
perspectives, exactly. So once you reach that point, your perspective changes. So it's a never ending loop. Like, this whole money thing is such a paradoxical thing that I try to like avoid it. I try to stay away from it. I try not to really go into it, because I once did go into it and it wasn't really fun. It just doesn't fulfill your purpose. It seems like a person that is trying to achieve a lot of money is going for a huge purpose in life, when in reality his purpose itself is vague, purposeless. He is just lying to himself that, hey, I have this huge purpose, I'm going for this, I'm going to be a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, a gazillionaire. What's the point of it?
Yeah, I mean, humans are supposed to have a purpose that's bigger than themselves, right? Um, and let's say if your purpose is just to make money, that's just numbers on screen. So you're basically aiming for more and more digits on your banking app. Like, I don't think that, because a purpose basically, to me, it means that it somehow benefits humanity, right? So you can you
Yeah.
can you can have money as your vehicle. So like we can have multiple vehicles to achieve our purpose. One could be public
Mm-hmm.
speaking, or
Mm-hmm.
influencing people through your, your messages. um
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, money can be a vehicle to do that, right? Like, I don't know, maybe building schools.
Absolutely. Without money, you can't really do. If I were to not have money in the first place right now,
Mm-hmm.
to fulfill the basic necessities, I wouldn't be over here speaking about why money is evil. I would be the one afflicted by this evil, and I would be running after it.
Yeah.
Because what I said, only after you have achieved a certain amount of money, you realize that it's not the money that's really important. It's what comes with it and what you need to be done with it. So it's more of a um more of a assisting equipment throughout your life that will make things easier for you. You have a lot of money, you are basically going in an easier way in life, in an easier route in life. You have less money, it gets a bit more difficult, and it just gradually goes down with the amount of money going down as well. But once again, and that's the thing. Why are you associating success? Why are you associating all of the grandeur with money? When in reality, money is just going to be that driving force, or that vehicle, as you said, that will get you there.
Hmm.
Your purpose is never going to be defined by money. Your purpose is always going to be defined by your morals, by your, um, whatever your mental being is taking you to.
Yeah, makes total sense. Yeah, and if your purpose is just showing off to others, like, or you could say, like, there in these lots of rags to
That's
riches stories, you notice that people started with being broke, and when they got money, they're just flexing it, like they're throwing it off. So it's just basically to prove a point that nobody in reality cares about, and I think it comes from a place of hate and being oppressed. earlier in the
Yeah,
earlier
to be
stages of
very
life.
honest, right now, if you see any social media platform where people are going to be like making money and everything,
Mhm,
and they're like, "Hey, look at me! I'm going to be throwing it at," like they're literally going to go out their houses, going to get a new Rolls Royce Phantom, come back next day, they're going out, they're going to get a new car. This is all very, very materialistic, right?
mhm,
Now, the thing that comes with materialism is that firstly, the materialism that is going to be shown on social media, I am going to be telling this with all my honesty, being around such people. They are showing all of this to sell you themselves in order to make more money off of it, right?
yeah, yeah, that's one part of it.
And it's so weird that they spent so much of their time. Obviously no one is going to be rich within a few months or seconds, right? It takes time to build that wealth. And what makes me really at times even laugh at them, it's quite hysterical that they are going to be claiming that they have made so much amount of money and this and that, yet they are over here on social media asking for attention, asking for approval, asking for basically that, hey, validate us, that we have made a lot of money, we are rich, we are this, we are that.
Mhm.
How is it that we associate certain things with being rich while certain things with not being so rich? I swear to God, I have actually witnessed this with my own eyes, that there are certain things in life that have become so status symbolized that if you see a certain person with that certain thing, they are going to be deemed as being rich. When in reality, they may not even have a single penny in their pocket, and even that thing that is in their hand or around them is going to be most probably not even their own.
Yeah,
So how come someone can, you know, say that this is a huge purpose or this is something that you should go for when it can be faked so easily? Purpose in life should be that it only comes and it can only be achieved when you have done work for it or you have done something that has made it, come in return to you. You can fake being rich, but you can't fake being a good person. You will fake it for 1 day, for 2 day, for 3 day. How long will you fake being a general good person to to the society?
yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, man. Yeah, that's a fresh perspective. So, thank you so much for your time. I'll let you go now. I got him like he was in the middle of a designing session. I just, I stole him for a minute. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Keep on with the hustle. Respect.
All right, bye bye.